Oh, the Carolina Panthers are in Atlanta today. This is a live look at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They're looking for a little revenge against the Falcons as they take on the last game of the season. Joining me now, Charlotte Sports Live's Mike Lissette. Good morning, Mike.
How are you?
It's the last game of the season. I mean, I'm sad because...
You still want me to come in every Sunday morning and
if
talk
you want to come in every Sunday and talk sports,
I
Mike,
love
we
talking
will do
sports
that.
with you. So anytime, man. Happy to do it.
Well, let's huddle up as we do on Sunday and talk about the Panthers. Right now, we're looking at a lot of injuries. So a lot of people will play, won't play. What's it looking like?
Well, J.C. Horton's out. He just made the Pro Bowl. That's a bummer because he had, up until last year, played in every game. This was a guy that had been through a number of injury problems. So he's going to be out again. Josie Jewell's out. The defense, once again, is going to be in rough shape with backups playing, and that cost him last week against the Bucs. Offensively speaking, Xavier Legette is questionable. We're just debating whether or not they play him. I'd imagine there's nothing to play for, so why would they play him other than just ending the season off on a positive note? He's already proven himself to be a reliable person. The person that we will see today, Miles Sanders, we have not seen him since he injured his ankle against the Giants. That was back in Germany in November. This is a big game for him because, remember, he's going into one more year of his contract. Things have not played out as everyone has hoped. He might be dropped in the offseason. This could be a chance for him to play for another job.
Yeah, I was going to say that running back room already crowded as it is, so hopefully Miles Sanders will be able to do that. What about Bryce Young? I mean, this has been that year where you've seen him do well. Well, you saw him start off bad. He was benched. Now he's come back and he's doing very well. But this game with all these different parts and everything else, is this just to get through the game and then we'll go work on the offseason and come back and see how much more you improve?
Yeah, I would say that, and I'd also say that if the game gets out of hand, I think at some point they'll probably just sit him because, again, you do not want your franchise to get hurt. It's been a heck of a year for him. Started out really bad. He had to kind of work his way back into the job by chance when Andy Dalton got into that car accident. But to his credit, he kept his job. Matter of fact, I was reading an article on NFL.com where they're ranking him as the 11th best quarterback in the league right now, which is just bonkers considering he was a bust by week 3. So he's done a great job, but today he's going to be in for it once again because Atlanta brings the pressure. He's already limited in terms of who he's got out there, and his offensive line's banged up too. So it's going to be a tough day for Bryce. He held steady in the first half last week against Tampa. He's going to be challenged again today.
I know I have to ask the question. We always say players aren't looking at this, but I mean, the Panthers kind of really don't want to win when it comes to the whole draft positioning.
No,
right?
players. I think players do want to win.
They do, but
it's the organization.
There's some fans that don't.
Yeah, the organization. You know, we don't know. I think Carolina will be competitive today as best they can, but it's just going to be tough with so many missing parts. I think the fact that Atlanta is still in contention, they've got to win. They've got to hope Tampa loses. I think it's going to be another tough game for Carolina.
When we get to this part, Mike, and I know this is crystal ball, looking in the crystal ball and everything, it seems like they're so close, especially in a bad division like the NFC South. What do they need to do coming into next year to at least be closer to making the playoffs?
They need to figure out what they're doing with their defense. Offensively speaking, it's kind of crazy. Like we've seen flashes of brilliance. Offense, obviously, there's always ways to get better, but they're kind of there. Maybe with a couple upgrades too. They've got to figure out what to do with the running back spot with Jonathan Brooks being out. But defensively, it's their secondary, it's the linebackers. They've got to booster it, especially because they're just so banged up. And they got to figure out the scheme. Jerry Rivera is a heck of a coach. They blocked him from going other places last year because he was so valuable. This year, his stock has fallen dramatically. So he's got to look in the mirror and figure out, maybe I've got to figure out a different way to organize these guys. If he still has a job, there's a growing number of people, a lot of fans that would like to see him go. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll have one more chance to figure it out.
No, I'd like to give this staff one more chance. And speaking of staffs, we always have a great one right here. So what do you guys have coming up for BBKL?
Well, we're talking to the guy who won the local media award for being the most accessible to us. And let me tell you, it was a joy talking to Big Bobby this year, Robert Hunt. We're going to go one-on-one with him. The Panthers paid him big money in the offseason to come and protect Bryce, and he came through. Other story, great. Carolina does a lot of things behind the scenes that you don't hear about. And one thing they did earlier this season was they sent a kid who's been battling cancer to a once-in-a-lifetime, all-expense-paid trip to Denver to see them play the Broncos. And this kid was just such a great guy, did not know who Sam Mills was, but he embodies the spirit of keep pounding, and you're going to get to know him today on BBKL.
That's awesome. Of course, BBKL at 10 o'clock today. Charlotte Sports Live's Mike Lissette. It's always great, Mike. Come by anytime,
Gonna
bro.
miss you for a little bit.
Anytime
Thank
you
you,
want to
thank
talk
you.
sports, come on by.